crypto has an absolutely massive problem. A lot of problems, but like one in particular. And I see a ton of chatter about it. I see a lot of people talking about the problem, but no one talking about the solution. The problem is about the marketing. It's the messaging. We right now inside of the industry have this sort of very tunnel vision view of the fact that it feels like so many huge things are happening. The problem is that the way that most of them are happening alienates a tremendous number of people. And the problem with alienating a bunch of people is that none of these protocols, none of these projects, none of these things, these tools, these services are getting any new users. They have the people who have been there using stuff or doing whatever, or they're beholden there because they've got a bunch of money tied up in it or whatever, but they're not attracting anybody new. Nothing is really growing. Real awareness about the purpose behind any of this stuff is non-existent. You've got people who are aware that this is a risky space that you can invest in if you would like to, and beyond that, there's really not much of a general understanding. And again, we're very tunnel visioned. As you sit here and as you talk about this, it seems like, if all you look at is Twitter, it seems like people are talking about all this stuff, but you got to remember that most of those people are being paid, and most of them don't really have any communication with the outside world. We have, as an industry, trained ourselves, Pavlov style, to expect unbelievably fast turnarounds and high conversions on social media, on marketing campaigns of any kind. And we've achieved that high conversion rate, that fast turnaround, by literally just giving people free money. But since it's the only thing that we've really ever done, we look at a free money campaign, and then we look at a non-free money campaign that cannot turn or convert someone that quickly. And we're like, no, that's bullshit. That must be a failure. I'm going to do more of this free money thing. Meanwhile, it just hasn't quite been long enough for everyone to realize that all they're doing is hemorrhaging money, and they have actually nothing to show for it. Like, I would go so far as to say, and I will die on this hill, I would go so far as to say that no one in Web3 has real brand awareness. No one. By that, I don't mean that no one has heard of stuff. By that, I mean that no one cares truly about your brand, about your identity, beyond what they believe it's worth to them monetarily, because they either own a lot of a particular token or they are being actively paid out by something specific. It is also a big problem that I have to explain that to people who work in this industry, people who are managing multi-million, tens of millions of dollars a year marketing budgets, who don't understand that never having built any real brand awareness with anything other than free money is a problem. Like, it's very strange that I have to say that. Like, if I'm in a pitch meeting, if I'm in a proposal meeting where I'm trying to design a framework for someone to run an awareness campaign, or even just explain what awareness building is, or ask someone what their goals are for a campaign, they don't say awareness. They don't know that they're going for awareness. They don't know that that's what they want. They think they want sales and convert, which is fine, right? To want sales, that's the goal, right? Obviously, that's what we all want. Everybody wants sales. The problem is that you don't just get sales if no one cares about you. And if the only way you have ever communicated with people en masse is by dangling the free money carrot in front of them, or by telling them that whatever is going to be a killer return on their investment, that's what they're there. If they're not there because they're into the brand identity, they're not there because they're down with the cause or into the mission, largely. They're down with the cause because they think it will pay them. I think that it would astonish people. I know that it would, to hear how much money gets spent on crypto marketing and how little of it translates into an actual measurable conversion that is cemented and rooted in brand loyalty because of impactful awareness building. There's no sense of the time that it takes to build something like that either, because the only times crypto companies ever communicate with anybody is when they are actively selling them something, or they are just about to launch something. So they run an awareness campaign to build up hype, which ends up just being a flash in the pan as so-and-so launches protocol, whatever. And, there's a crazy incentive to do it. You're going to make this much money if you're an early adopter, whatever it is. And then the second that the drop is done, And the second that incentive is over, they disappear and they go radio silent. They don't talk to anybody. They quit paying anyone for any marketing. There's no brand awareness building. There's no like long-term strategy. There's none of that. It's just complete dark crickets until they have to sell something else. So the entire relationship becomes transactional. The only time people expect to hear from them is when they think they're about to be sold something. And that's just not a relationship that anybody is interested in having. I mean, no one is looking for commercials to watch. They're looking for people to connect with. And they're looking for brands and companies and missions and vibes to be down with. And if you're not giving them any of that, no one's going to hang out with you for a long time. I said Pavlov style because crypto companies have trained themselves through running terrible incentive structured campaigns built on short cycle, like hype building. And they think that it works because they've seen crazy virality and conversions in the short term. And it just hasn't been long enough for them to realize that none of those people hung out, that none of them converted to lifetime users, that all of them are just there or lingering because they think maybe this token will go back up in value at some point, or maybe whatever, maybe this will pay me again, maybe I missed that one airdrop, maybe they'll do another one, whatever it is. No one is there because they're having genuine fun, and no one would stay there if they thought there was no shot they were ever going to make any money from it. There's no like sense of community. There's no feeling of belonging. And like I said, the worst part is that most every crypto company, they don't believe that they need it. They don't believe that they need brand loyalty and awareness. These are like basic tenets of marketing that the entire industry outside of crypto and Web3 accepts. Alex Hormozy ran awareness building for his newest book for 2 years before we got to the book launch. And in that time, he was giving away mountains of value to people for free, creating hundreds, thousands of pieces of free content the entire time. Stephen Bartlett, Diary of a CEO, before his book launch, 18 months of awareness building and loyalty building and value delivery. 18 months. If you talk to any of those brand consultants, any of those marketers, any of those people, they will tell you unequivocally that you have to build that over the long term, that you can't just inundate people with crappy commercials for a week and expect them to be lifelong customers. It doesn't work that way. It can if you promise to give them a bunch of free money, but they're not there for any reason other than the money. And that's the only thing crypto has going for it. It's a problem that we don't message things in a helpful way outside of free money, because then the only people down with it are the people who are in the know, getting the money, in the insiders club, whatever. And you know, don't give me any of the like the political stuff, you know, like, okay, well now because of all the awareness, the institutions buying in and, you know, this executive order or that piece of legislation, whatever. We're presenting this stuff now in such a partisan way that all you're doing really is turning off more than half the country, more than half the planet, who just feels like they don't have enough money to get involved. They don't know enough stuff to get involved. This is like a tool that, you know, my enemies are using for this, that, or whatever. I don't trust it. I don't trust the people talking about it. And no one that I trust is interested in talking about it because it feels sleazy and scammy. Like if you left your echo chamber and just went off into the street and found random people and just asked them about general crypto stuff, come back and tell me how many of them are just like contributing or supplying to Aave, or how many of them are using, you know, putting USDC in a Morpho vault, or how many of them are minting stuff over here or doing stuff that none of them are. If you do, it's a fluke. The severity of this problem cannot be overstated. It will literally lead to the downfall of the industry writ large if it's not addressed soon. Because in the meantime, everyone is just spending every penny that they have on the wrong stuff. These companies are literally paying tens of thousands of dollars per tweet for someone who botted a Twitter account to void scream it to their 6 friends, a few power users, and a bunch of AI slop bots. And that's worth tens of thousands of dollars to these companies because they believe that it leads to real conversions.